I have lived and written poetry by this brown Danube for 35 years. Excisemen, frontiers and states surrender before your pulse that breathes eternity from its source to the sea. Castles and cathedrals stand, yet you endure longer in the play of your waves, racing yet still. This city has been the theatre of my misfortunes. Before the war I taught at the German grammar school here. At that time my Lachian poetry was causing a stir all over Czechoslovakia. Everyone knew of my sympathies for the downtrodden colliers of the Ostrava region. But by 1938 the fascists were virtually in charge, and they expelled me. The city has suffered too. The old fortress on the hill over yonder was one of the few buildings to survive the terrible battle for Bratislava towards the end of the war. Thousands of Russians fell here. The Soviet War Memorial occupies the highest point in the city. I often go there in the evening for the air. The breezes pass through the woods on the Austrian side. Most of our Bratislava air is polluted. This is my park. I come here regularly when the weather permits. Nobody else seems to know about it, so it's usually deserted. The gnats seem to be here in strength today. Now let me conduct you through my workroom, my open-air study. There's a bench further along under an oak tree where I sit and write. Other men ramble through their childhood as though through a dark, mysterious forest, and then descend to hidden valleys, or climb to bare crags in the highest Alps. But I am one of the many trees in the forest, still growing even after the point when I become self-aware. My roots interweave with the roots of other trees, and so the treetops too understand each other. Other men feel alone down there in the valley, up there on the rocks. But I feel at home among the other trees. The song we sing is one and the same throughout the centuries, the song of gratitude, rising from shadowy instincts, ripening in crystalline knowledge. My poetry is humanist poetry. It speaks up for the best in people. At my age I've had enough of politics. I've been a victim of brown fascism, and for years I've been muzzled by red fascism. But a poet has a duty to speak up for humanity and the lasting verities. That's why I never give up. That's why I'm delighted when some man or woman in France or Greece or Japan or in any other corner of the world reads my poems in translation. It's a minor victory. My motto runs, Pugno et creo, ergo sum. I struggle and create, therefore I am. You saw the Danube. The other river in my life is the Ostrovica, which flows through Friedeck, my birthplace. No, I wasn't alone. Even in the cradle I heard those church bells ringing in the little town with the granite castle and the octagonal fountain in the market square, and all around the jostling houses squeezing the climbing sunlight-seeking streets. 2 years ago, the planners demolished my father's house as part of their reconstruction scheme. Not much sign of rebuilding. The roads reverted to mud. Now the house stood here. I can still recognize a few old friends, that cherry tree, for instance. What an extraordinary corner of the town this used to be. Just a few yards up the street, the great Baroque church of the Blessed Virgin. I can remember the processions of pilgrims passing in front of our house and hearing those haunting Slovak hymns. Then, just round the corner was an orphanage run by nuns, and nearby the synagogue. The rabbi was a great friend of mine. The Nazis burnt the synagogue and gassed the rabbi. I never idealized the past. There was always exploitation and persecution in these parts. First it was the feudal lords, and later the foreign mine owners. Look at our castle. You wouldn't need a massive place like that if you were on good terms with your peasants. Anyway, this is my Friedeck. This is my Lachia, and here I stand.
Go. Go.
Yeah. Go on then.
Sorry.
That reminds you that you said he wasted about 50 pence worth of film.
Yes.
60 pence worth of counting, 70 pence worth.
I won't laugh anymore. Okay, go.
W Ukrainie Aleksandrowi Dowzinkowi. Wolny, wolny, żółte wolny, cały obzór żółtopylny, żółte morze na równinie, słoneczniki w Ukrainie. Wolny, 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 zdrawe, smicie dziełów pełnoplawe, rude wolny w czarnej glinie, rude szatki w Ukrainie. Coch nie widział w smutnym świecie, owoc pełnu, w pełnym kwiecie, w słonecznikach na równinie, kwitną roby w Ukrainie. 2 augusta 1934.
Start clapping.
And now what about this one, Andrew?
Hang on, I don't know how much time you've got.
Shall we carry on?
Is it a short one?
Yes, quite short.
Okay.
Das Geheimnis des Herzens. Ich betrachte den Pulsschlag meiner schreibenden Hand und denke an mein Herz. Es pumpt schon 72 Jahre lang, Tag und Nacht, Stunde und Stunde. Welche maßlose Arbeit hat mein Herz schon geleistet. und erst heute besinne ich mich, wie sehr ich ihm danken muss, dass es bei den bretonischen Menhiren und auf den Tempelstufen der Akropolis so warm und so regelmäßig schlug, wie schon als ganz kleines Herz im Leib meiner Mutter. 19. Januar 1977.
Okay, let's see.
That's very
It's the same,